Hola from the west side. It's me, DCThePurpleDiva. And I know I'm late, y'all. Hey, Toya. I know I'm late, girl. Sorry. I'm cooking, or I was cooking, for David, making a healthy meal for us tonight. And I was literally peeling shrimp like 15 minutes ago to pour into the pot so I could cook them. So everything's on and popping now. Happy Monday. And I want it to be a motivational Monday for everybody. So I hope that I can give some motivation to everybody else out there. Because there's some people that are going through some stuff. And we got to think about how blessed we are to have what we have. Because we could be in another position. There are people who are close to losing their homes or have lost their homes, and they don't know what to do. There are people that are in the hospital having health issues. And I feel for them. That's why I am thankful for everything that I do have. Because there was a time where I didn't have a roof over my head. And I didn't know when I was going to get a permanent roof over my head again. And that was a scary time for me. But I got through it. God got me through it. And I'm on the other side. And I can rejoice in the fact that I'm on the other side and that I found a way to get through it. So I'm just, really want to give inspiration to other people tonight. That's really what I want to do tonight. You know what I'm saying? I really just want to inspire other folks tonight because you just don't know what other people are going through. And you never know if what you say might help somebody else. So I'm hoping that somebody that listens to this now or later. Hey, Tattered Hearts. Happy Monday. I'm just trying to give you guys motivation tonight. Trying to give y'all some motivation tonight. I always forget to turn down the volume when I pull up the YouTube on my side. How is your night going, Tattered Heart? How's your night going, Toya? Hope you guys are doing good. I hope that you guys are doing good. All right, now let me see what you're saying in the chat because I know that what's going on over here on StreamYard is behind the times. Thank you, Toya. I appreciate that. I know that this Monday is probably a little more stressful for people, even though we got an extra hour of sleep last night. Somehow that doesn't always, you getting that extra hour. When the time changes, people, it messes with a lot of people. even when the time is falling back. Oh, you have yeah. I don't get Veterans Day off. I do not get it off. I think my son may have it off though from his job, but I don't have it off because I don't work for a bank. But we are going to. My job is going to honor the people that are veterans that work for my company on that day. So that'll be nice. Really, Toya. Well, that's a good thing. There wasn't a bunch of solidarity today, however, on YouTube. Guys, hey, one second. I'm going to put you guys on mute for just 1 second. And I know you're not going to hear the music, but give me 1 second. I'm going to put it on mute for just 1 second. I'm back, guys. Sorry about that. I had to go get something and I had to fix something on the music, so I had to put you guys on hold for a second while I fixed it. Let me see. We need a DC Purple Diva Day. You're funny, Tattered Hearts. You're funny. Really? Well, what kind of events were today in regards to Black Solidarity Day? What kind of events were out there today? I actually had a pretty good day today at work. I was kind of moving slow though. I don't know why I was moving so slow. But I made it through the day. Yeah, David, I don't know where it is. We're over here looking for a bottle opener. So I can open up a bottle of soda for him, but I can't find it. Oh, you know what? I know exactly what I can use. I forgot all about this. Mom forgot. I forgot. So guys, let me see. What kind of events do they do, Toya, for Black Solidarity Day? Do they do speeches and stuff? You know what? You better behave, Tattered Hearts. Be nice. Be nice in the chat. Nobody did anything? Really? And Jovi didn't come on today, so But I know she's doing some stuff with her kid, trying to get her into a really good program because she's in Brooklyn. Maybe she'll do something later this week because she didn't, or maybe she'll put something on her personal channel that she opened up. I found something, son. You don't need to look for anything. I forgot there was a bottle opener on this. I forgot that. I have a Swiss Army knife, and I forgot that I have a bottle opener on it. Yeah. Yeah, she's in the Crown Heights area, I think, somewhere. Or that's where she grew up. Hey, Mom Bear of 4, how are you? How are you? Thank you for coming through. Please don't forget to smash that like button. I don't know why I did that. What is it doing? My music is acting crazy over here, guys. It's acting crazy. It is acting crazy. I don't know what happened. I'm going to start it. I'm going to reboot it and see if that helps with that. But in the meantime, I can continue talking. That's good, Mama 4. Yeah, my music just decided to stop playing. Hey, Boss Mom, how are you? I don't know what happened to my music. My music went away. Let me see. I think I'm going to try to play it on something else. So let's see. I'm going to try to play it on another thing, because it's coming from the cloud. So let me try it on this one and see if it comes down. I'm going to see if I can bring it in while I'm trying to figure out what the heck is going on with my iPad. All right, let's see if we can do this for y'all. I think I got it, guys. Now I got to just turn it up. There it is. There's our music. There's our music. How are you doing, Boss Mom? Sorry, I got distracted when the music went off. I like to have my music playing in the background. And for whatever reason, my iPad decided to stop playing. So this is a motivational Monday. And I just wanted to kind of really uplift people, uplift everybody, no matter what they're going through, no matter, if you are married or single, if you're, in your teens, in your 20s, in your 30s, in your 40s, or in your 50s, wherever you are in life, I just want to be able to try to encourage everybody on this Monday night, because we could all be in a different situation than we're in now. There are people out there who are fighting to keep a roof over their heads. There are people out there that are in hospitals fighting for their lives right now. And I hope that we are all blessed with having roofs over our heads, and that we are all blessed with good health. Hey, Edward, how are you? How are you? Please don't forget to smash that like button for me, guys. Please don't forget to smash that like button for me. I hope everybody is having a wonderful Monday or Tuesday if it's already Tuesday for you. And I hope that everybody has been able to acclimate to daylight savings time being gone. Hey, Addict Mike, how are you? I know for a lot of people, when the time changes, no matter which way the time changes, it's a little difficult first couple of days, especially when you're going from, most people getting off work where it's still light to once the time changes, it being dark, 30 by the time you get off. Want me to bring my chat here? You can do that if you'd like to, Addict Mike. We're all on positive vibes here. So if you guys are on the positive link, yes, by all means, come on over. Now, where'd my music go? We're gonna start it again. Oh, that's right, yeah, because now it's on a whatever. No time change here. Oh yeah, you're in one of the places where they don't do daylight saving time. Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. But do you know that it takes a federal approval in order to not have daylight savings time, which is what California is now finding out because they don't want to be on daylight savings time anymore. And so, but the federal government still has to say it's okay. So we'll see what happens with that. See if that actually happens. I don't care one way or another. I just would prefer the time to stay the same all the time because we're not an agricultural country anymore. So it doesn't make any sense for us to use daylight savings time because that was the whole point of daylight savings time, was to give farmers an extra hour of daylight. Since the majority of our country are not farmers, and even the farmers don't really need that anymore. Yeah, that's the reason why daylight savings time was introduced in the first place. It had to do with farming because the United States was primarily an agricultural country starting out. Think about it. Our ancestors were on plantations. Plantations are farms. Just a fancy word for a farm. Yeah, Hawaii. Yeah, you guys and Arizona are the two that never dealt with this foolishness in the first freaking place. And I used to hate it. I absolutely hated it when I was a kid. And when my son was born, that was back when they did the time change the last Sunday in October. He was born on the last Sunday in October. And so I was literally in the hospital in labor, and I watched the time go back on the clock. Okay, Addict Mike, no pressure. If they want to come through and just, say hi for a minute, that's perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine. But yeah, so there are some states. There are some states, including California, that want to get rid of daylight savings time. So we're going to see how well that works, because I'm sure there's some politics involved in negotiating to change, back from having daylight savings time. And since this current administration doesn't really like the state of California, I don't know. I really don't know what's going to happen. Don't really know what's going to happen with that. And he's already blaming the governor for the fires, which is kind of crazy. He's saying that, he didn't make the people, he didn't make sure that the brush was cleared everywhere that it needed to be cleared, and yada yada and whoop-de-woo. So that's the reason for that. And he just doesn't like them. Yeah, he does not like the state of California. He don't like us at all. I'm not even from here. I just happen to live here. But that man does not like the state of California. But he should start liking us, because California is one of the earliest primaries now. So he should start liking us. He should start liking us. Guys, I'm going to put you guys on mute for a second. Just a second. I'll be right back. My son is over here calling my aunt. Guys, I was like, God is definitely good all the time. He is definitely good all the time. My favorite, I think it's Galatians. I want to say it's in Galatians, about if you faint not, you shall reap a harvest in due season. I think that's in Galatians. Yeah, I think it's in Galatians, like in the last chapter of Galatians. I happen to like that one. So I'm seeing if I can get my original back up and running. So we're going to see what happens. Let's see what happens now. Let's see if I get it back up and running. So now, let me see if I can stop the... All right. So we have our original. We have our original on the iPad back on. I was like, what the heck? My iPad just had a Philippians 4:13. Is that it? Okay. I know it's in the last chapter of the book that it's in. I'm gonna look it up. Let's see, Philippians. Oh, look, that's like my That's one of my favorites. And then I don't know where this one is, but the other one is no weapon formed against me shall prosper. And I believe that's in the Old Testament. I believe that's in the Old Testament. Those are my two favorites. So let's see. Let's see. Philippians. Oh my gosh, supply all my needs. Okay, so let me go to Galatians because I know that, yeah, that's where mine is. Galatians. Let me go to Galatians. And I hope this doesn't offend anyone. You know, that no one is offended by it. You know what I mean? Let's see, the last chapter. Maybe it's in Ephesians. Maybe I'm looking for Ephesians. I think it might be in Ephesians. I always mix up which book it's in. I just know what the verse is, what it says. No, Ephesians is put on the whole armor of God. Yep. Oh no, I'm not ashamed of the gospel. I'm not. But that's why, but I am cognizant that some people don't believe in the word. So I am going to say, I hope I don't offend you, but this is where I am. You know what I mean? And if it offends you, then, you know, there are a million streams out there on YouTube, you know, but I believe what I believe. I believe what I believe, you know, and that's a funny thing that on here, a lot of people are they really don't want to talk about having a relationship with God because they think they'll run people away from their channel. But the thing is that if you have a relationship with God, no matter what, you know, no matter, you know, what your faith is, or, you know, how you want to term it, but if you have a relationship with God, then you shouldn't be ashamed of that, you know. And I always tell people that start to talk about, you know, the color of Jesus' skin, that they need to go do some history and really understand that the original Bible was not in Europe, and that a lot of the stuff that they have now is coming from Europe. That's very true. That's very, very true. And he's a spirit. So he can't be one. What are you doing? Are you on the phone? Okay, well, he needs to get off the phone. Yeah, hang up the phone, David. Hang up the phone. Guys, hold on for a second. Sorry, guys, I'm back. Yeah, but, I mean, I'm walking right now because I'm actually storing my food. We don't want to burn what we're cooking. And I think I told the guys that were in at the very beginning of the stream that I have something on the stove that I have to do simmering while I am online. And it's almost done. But the fact that we're always talking about race is funny because there really isn't, races are fictional. They don't actually exist. They were created by Europeans. Before that, they didn't even exist. And I think it all stemmed around slavery, that they started to put, you know, races on people instead of dealing with what country people come from, because before it was all about what country you came from, and that determined who you were, not what color your skin was. Hey, Heart Gasper, how are you? How are you? Yeah, I don't hate anybody. I really don't. I know everybody doesn't feel that way. You know, I mean, I'm sure there's people that hate me, you know, because you know, I talk about God, or because I'm a brown girl. But God said to love one another, because God is love. And love is God. And that's the greatest thing that you can do, is to love one another. We all do, you know, we all get hated on. You know, I mean, like, one of the reasons why I even do YouTube is so that people will stop hating on people like my son who have autism, you know, because as those kids grow up into adults, they still have autism. And then some people don't like them because they're different. And that's a hard thing. Yep, I'm winning. Haters can hate on. You just continue to do you. I continue to network on YouTube and meet more and more people, you know, and there's a lot of people of faith, you know, that love the Lord, that are on YouTube, and that are not afraid to talk about that. That's part of who you are. Then, you know, how can you help but it come up in conversation? Yep. Like, one of my favorite poems is that poem by Unknown, you know, Footprints. I love that poem. I love that poem. Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about, Latoya. It was a social economic thing, and it was created by Europeans when they started slave trade. They created it. God does like colors. And the crazy thing is that the colors of our skin came from us spreading out across the world from Africa and going to different climates. And so that was an adaptation to wherever people went to. Over generations and everything, you know. So God made us all. We are all beautiful in his sight. That's what I love. We are all beautiful in his sight. Every single one of us, no matter who we are, no matter where we were born, no matter, you know, how much money we make. I told you, Toya, I am a nerdy girl. I was always the smart girl. I was always the smart girl. I was always the smart girl. I was cool, but I was smart. You know? So that's what people knew me for, being smart. Even now, that's what people always talk about. You know, I was a nerdy girl, but I'm okay with that. Really, Mike? Well, I don't think anybody is dumb. I think that people just learn differently, you know, because a lot of people think that people with autism are dumb because they learn differently, but they're not. A lot of times they're smarter than the people who are trying to teach them. It's all about how people learn. All about how you learn. And everybody learns differently. It's not even about autism. I'm just telling you. Everybody learns differently. The problem is the way that we educate one way. You know, and there's some people that can fit into that box that they put us in for education. And then there's some people who cannot fit into that box. And when you don't fit into that box, then they don't know where to put you and they don't know how to classify you. Yep. Sometimes what we learn in life is more important than what we learn in school. I can always tell you that because my major was math in college. Want to know how much math I use? I use adding, subtracting, multiplying, and division. I only use basic math. All the other math that I learned, that I studied in college, don't ever use it. Never use it. Don't even use algebra or geometry. You know? Yeah, who's there? You're funny. You're funny, Addict Mike. You're funny. You guys are funny. I'm walking around right now. I know you guys can still hear me because I know I have what they call the big mouth. I have a big mouth, but I'm turning off the stove because the food is ready for my son. So that he can get it whenever he wants. Some knives. This will last until tomorrow too, actually. It's a really, really healthy meal. It's a really healthy meal. I made some greens and I put some shrimp in there. And then I put some smoked sausage in it. So that's what I just made. You guys are funny. I'm just looking at the chat with the knock jokes. Soul food. You guys are wrong. That one is funny. Soul food, because he stepped on the ant. That was funny. Yeah. But I've been out there listening to all the stuff that's going on in our political world today. And it's so funny, you know, because what they're saying is that they're probably not going to impeach this president, but it's going to be really hard for him to get elected again. But here's my thing. How hard is it going to be for him to get elected again if the other party can't get their act together to figure out who the heck is running the ship? That's all I'm saying, you know, because, you know, we have so few choices. Who's Dwayne? I know. You know, but I think the reason that we have Trump right now is, you know, regardless of who this man, no matter who's in office, God is still in control, and he can use whoever he wants to do whatever it is that he wants to do. Oh, I got it. Y'all are funny. Y'all are hilarious. I have comedians in my chat tonight. I have comedians in the chat tonight. That's good. That's what I like. I like us to be happy and happy vibes, because to me, when you know whose you are and you remind yourself of whose you are, that keeps your mind where it needs to be. I'm just saying. And people who love God have a sense of humor. We have to have a sense of humor because we serve a God who has a sense of humor. I know it does. DMX, man. So I know this might be a touchy one, but what do you guys think about Kanye West and his supposed conversion? Does anybody think that he may be I think that it may be real, but I think that we still need to keep praying for him. Because if it is real, he's going to be severely attacked trying to switch it up. You know what I mean? So, but everything that I'm hearing on YouTube and everything, and you know, how he's talking and how he's walking, it appears that he is trying to go the right way. Yeah, I know. And it seems like suddenly his mind is coming back because he's trying to serve Jesus. You know, at least he was going around saying he was God, and he's not saying that anymore. He's saying that he serves him. You know? But if he's really born again, I don't know how long his marriage will last. You know? I mean, it's hard to say, but I'm not going to say that he's not. I don't know. I don't know. Time will tell. Time will tell, because he's not the first. He's not the first rapper to become born again. You know what I mean? He's not the first one. I mean, you know, think about what's the Pepper? Is it Pepper? No, Salt and Salt and Pepper. Yeah, all of them supposedly got saved, but Salt really got saved, and that was one of the reasons why she didn't want to like perform certain stuff that they did. You know, like that's the not what a man, not the song that they did with In Vogue, but that other song. Yeah, I don't think Kim is down for you know, for him. And here's what I'll say. You know, if Kanye has really transformed, he's like most people are when they first come to Christ. They are radical and they don't want to tolerate anything, and they judge everybody else, and they're judgy of everybody. And you know, so you know, I mean, if he's trying to get his wife on board, he's going to have to tone it down a little bit. You know. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I know she really got saved. You know what I'm saying? And it was one of the reasons why she stopped doing music for a while. You know, I mean, and then who's the other one who got saved that was really, really big? The dude that the one that was with Puff Daddy, P. Diddy. God, I can't even think of his name. Mace. That dude. Because then he moved to Atlanta and he had his own church and stuff. And he actually came to my church a few years ago, like when he was not, before he went back to kind of doing a little rap here and there, when he was just strictly just doing, you know, Jesus. And, you know, I mean, he was off on some things, but he was learning. I don't know how he became a pastor of a church, because I don't think was ready to become a pastor of a church. You know, but I think he still has his own church in Atlanta. Mace. Yeah, that's the one. He's the one who used to wear the shiny suits. All his people turned to religion when they left him. Yeah, he does come for the sinner. He does come for the sinner, you know. And the thing about Sean Combs is that he has ministers who are giving him the word, but it's really up to him to accept it. You know, I mean, you know, for me, you know, I always tell people I grew up in the Catholic Church, and when I got born again, I didn't leave immediately, but I eventually had to leave the Catholic Church, because I could not. For me, I could not stay in the Catholic Church, because of things that I saw that were going on. You know. And then the things that I saw that were going on blew up after I left, and people then understood why I had left the Catholic Church. You know, I'm like, I couldn't be in an environment that condoned pedophiles. Couldn't do it. Child molesters. Couldn't do it. I could not do it. Yeah, I know some. I mean, a lot of them are searching for stuff, and you know, the music industry is a beast because people have to remember that. I mean, if you really know about the Bible and you know about who Satan really is, he was music. He was music. He was the music to the choir of angels. He was he had the most beautiful voice, they say. And he fell in love. He became so vain and thought that he was better. And so, to me, that is why there is so much craziness within the music industry. You know? And I mean, when I came to California, and even though I came out here and went to college, but I came out here to do music. That was the reason I came here. And I was in the industry and I was doing stuff, and I still, still do session work and still do stuff now. But when I was in my 20s, I knew like all the right people. I knew everyone. I knew the person who was the head of Uptown Records when Puff Daddy was an intern at Uptown Records. And I was meeting all the right people. And I was seeing things, and I was not of the mind to go that route, to do things, to compromise. I wasn't willing to compromise, so that's my story. And then I had a kid with autism, so that changed everything. Hey, Terry. Hey, Terry, I saw your comments on my Facebook. I saw your comments on my Facebook, Terry. Yeah. Oh, you're talking about the guy in that group. I can't even think of the name of the group now. The little short guy. Yeah, and then they put on the front of their record him on the in the gurney in the hospital on their next album after he lost his eye. But that was, I forget what happened, because they did a documentary on that stuff, and he said what happened. I can't remember what happened though. But I mean, the hard thing is that there's so much confusion in organized religion that a lot of people are missing God. A lot of people are missing God, because of religion and because of religious organizations and what they say, Yep, that's him. Brunswick Bill from the Ghetto Boys. Yep. Oh, yeah. I figured that was probably you. I figured that's probably you, Terry. I'm like, oh no, I was like, I would have to go through my mom's, all these albums of pictures that my mom has, because my mom has like lots of pictures and stuff of me, more pictures of me than I do as a kid. Every once in a while, I'll pop a picture on Facebook or on IG. Houston from the mid-90s. Oh, you're talking about I'm trying to think. What was his name Houston? Was that his stage name? Did Supone come in here? Did I miss him? Hey, Supone, I missed you. Sorry. Thank you for coming in. I don't know if they did or not, Addict Mike. Oh, you talking about the guys that won the Grammy for that song from the movie Hustle and Flow? 3-6 Mafia. I don't know if they did or not get saved. I don't know. I don't know if they're going around, you know. Everybody when they get an award, you know, says I want to thank God, you know. So you never know if they really are or not, because that's a thing, you know. Okay, Houston. I know who you're talking about, Toya, because I think I have the one album he did. I think I have the one album he did. Because what you guys don't know is I DJ'd and had like a radio show for like over 10 years. From the 90s, from the late 90s till about 2013, 2014. Yeah, for like over 10 years. I did an internet radio show. And I used to have everybody's albums. Oh, you're talking about the dude that's in you're not talking about Marcus Houston. You're talking about the dude, the other guy in the group Immature. You're talking about the dude from the group Immature. Yeah, Brandy detached his retina. But it was an accident. Yeah. That's all floating around YouTube right now. Yeah, that's the other guy from the group Immature. That's the guy from Immature. Yeah, because they mentioned it on. Even though I don't watch it, I've heard on YouTube that they mentioned it on Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. But I stopped watching that a while ago because it's just a mess on that show. You know, all of the Love and Hip Hops. Just a bunch of mess. Oh yeah, Bone Thugs. That's the group that Eazy-E brought out. I love Bone Thugs. They supposedly were Christians from the very beginning. Yeah, then we talking about a different dude. Yeah, because the dude from Immature, Brandy hit his eye. Let me look up Houston. I'm going to look this artist up right now. I'm looking him up right now. I'm just putting Houston R&B singer. R&B singer. There, I got him. Yeah, let me pull him up. Oh yeah, I see him. I think this is the dude I'm thinking about. Yep, this is the dude. Yeah, he gouged out his own eye. I remember him though, back in the day. I remember that dude back in the day. Yeah, see, that's some crazy stuff. And that's the thing. You know, I'm like in the industry, I mean, if it's changed now, maybe it's changed. But what I know is that there's drugs everywhere, every kind, you know, cocaine is freely floating around, you know, everything, you know, alcohol, you know, people are doing all kinds of stuff at parties. Because I would be at parties. And, you know, people would get themselves into compromising situations and stuff. And then people would have pictures of them. I have to pick just one song. Well, I can tell you what my favorite song is. It may not be the greatest song, Soup Bone, but my favorite song is Where Have All the Flowers Gone by Earth, Wind and Fire, circa 1972. That's my favorite song of all times. It may not be the best, it may not be, you know, the greatest song, but that song is like the bomb. That's when Earth, Wind and Fire was, you know, when they were first coming in on the scene. You know, that's when the chick that was in Friends of Distinction, Jessica Cleave, was still part of their group. That's when Ronnie Laws was still part of Earth, Wind and Fire. I mean, the greatest song of all times, man. I'd have to think about that. I have to think about that, Soup Bone. It's a lot of good songs, but I don't know. For You is a good song by Donny Hathaway. Now, that's a great song. That's a great song. But I don't know if I would say it was the greatest song of all times. Yeah, I mean, I have favorite songs. I mean, my favorite artist is Prince, and my favorite group was the Silvers. Because I grew up in the 70s. All Is Fair in War. All Is Fair in Love. All Is Fair in Love by Stevie Wonder is one of my songs. Yeah, All Is Fair in Love. That song. Now, I think that's probably one of the greatest songs by Stevie Wonder. All Is Fair in Love. And that's a great song. That's a really great song. Yep, Overjoyed is a beautiful song too. But it doesn't, to me, top All Is Fair in Love by him. I still think that's a better song. A better song by him. You know, because of, I mean, the emotion, the instrumentation, you know, it was very simple, but it was very powerful. The Silvers, yeah. Edmund was a friend of mine. Rest in peace, Edmund. The lead singer, he was a friend of mine. And I think I went on maybe one date with Foster, but Edmund didn't want me to go out with his brother. So I didn't go out with him anymore. It wasn't that serious to me, even though Foster was a nice looking dude. Yeah, but I know a few of the Silvers. But that was my favorite group growing up. And then when I came to California, I met and was really good friends with Etman. I love them. That they're one of the unsung, groups. I'm telling you, the industry is wicked. It's wicked. Because Olympia, the oldest girl, some mess happened to her being in she was in like one of those B horror movies back in the day, and I think somebody might have put something in something, and it messed her up. So that messed her up, for some years. And then, oh yeah, I like that song by Joe. Yeah, and I think I really, really liked them growing up, and then when I met them, I liked them even more. I mean, they were even more my favorite group because they were just so, but the industry just did not do them right. They just didn't do well. I mean, they had their moment, and then it was over, and they kept trying to come back. And I mean, I think Foster is still doing music. Yeah, Edmund and I were really good friends. Somewhere in one of my photo albums, I have some pictures of me and him hanging out when I was in my 20s. Yep, we were friends. We were friends for a long time. And then he moved to Virginia, and he was out there when Leon was doing stuff with Teddy Riley for a minute. So he was out there, and then he got lung cancer, and unfortunately, from smoking those cigars, Terry. Yeah, he was a cigar smoker like you, Terry, and he unfortunately got lung cancer and died at the age of 49. My friend Edmund Silvers. I used to always get on him about smoking those daggone cigars too. But I mean, he smoked them for years, Terry. Because when I met him in my 20s, he was smoking them. And at that time, he was like around 30. Because he was a few years older. Because he was born in the late 50s. But they were so talented. Because he used to help me with my vocals. He used to help me with my harmonization and all of that stuff, man. Oh, I miss him so much. He was a really good friend. He was a really good friend. Yeah, and that wasn't really fair to the Silvers because they were not like the Jacksons. They were different. They did their own stuff. They came out. I mean, Leon was writing all their stuff. That song, I Wish I Could Talk to You, he wrote that. You know what I'm saying? He was writing a lot of their stuff, the early stuff, but he was young, and they weren't trying, and the record companies weren't trying to let him run stuff. That's the reason why he left his family, at Capitol Records, and he went over and started Solar Records with Dick Griffith. He smoked cigars too, though, Terry. He smoked both. He smoked both for a long time. You know what I mean? He smoked both. And I was always getting on him about it because I'm thinking, dude, you're a singer. You're tearing your throat up. Stop it. Yep. But Leon is still in the music industry. He's still doing his thing, you know. He's still doing his thing. And the next generation of their kids are trying to do some stuff. I think the kids had like some stuff on YouTube. They were trying to do a YouTube series about the family, the next generation of the Silvers. We're trying to do something on YouTube. Because I saw it. And I keep up with, you know, anything that has to do with them still. Because again, that is my favorite singing group of all times. Yeah, you can catch a lot of the all of the groups that were big in the 70s and stuff, and because they made it. The Silvers made it to like about the maybe till I was out of college, till I was in college. They made it to like the mid 80s, and then they were pretty much done as far as, you know, any major deals, and they were pretty much done at that point. And that's actually about the time that I met Edmund, was in the mid 80s, around the time that things were starting. They were, you know, and I think I met him right after he had stopped dating Frida Payne, because he was dating Frida Payne for a long time. I don't know why he didn't marry that woman. She wanted to marry him. It wasn't him. It wasn't her. He liked older women, though. That was Edmund. He was a really cool dude. And let me tell you guys a funny story. So when I was a teenager, I went to see the Silvers at King's Dominion, which at the time was an independent amusement park. It's now part of Great Adventures, which is Magic Mountain. Everything's Magic Mountain now. Magic Mountain, you know, Six Flags owns everything, basically. So everything that Six Flags, they own all the major amusement parks. But this was King's Dominion. You should know it, Toya, because it's down near Richmond. But that was the major amusement park if you lived in the DC area and didn't want to drive all the way up to New Jersey. So I went to see them. They did a concert there. And this was like when nobody on the East Coast, we didn't know what a Jerry curl was. It was only a California thing. And they had Jerry curls in their hair. And me and my friends were tripping out on their hair, because we kept on saying, why does their hair look like it's wet? Did they just get out the shower before they got on stage? Because we didn't know what a Jerry curl was. And we didn't find out what a Jerry curl was until like later. But it was so funny because it looked weird to us on the East Coast because we didn't know what it was. Yes, Terry, he dated Frida Payne. He dated Frida Payne. If you go back and you Google, you'll find there's pictures of him floating around the internet from back when they were dating. Yeah, she was a cougar before cougars, and she wanted to marry him. I can tell you that. He's the one who did not want to get married. I don't think Edmund ever got married, as a matter of fact. Yeah. And I knew that before. I knew that without having known him, because, you know, they were my favorite group. So I knew everything about them. I knew when everybody's birthday was. I still do. I still have all of their birthdays in my mental Rolodex. So, yeah. I was a true fan. Was in their fan club and everything, y'all. I'm telling you. And that's back in the days when, everything was in Right On and Teen Beat. I had like two huge scrapbooks full of all the stuff about them. And I gave them to them. I gave them to Edmund so that they could have the stuff, because I had stuff on them that they didn't even have. And I said, well, you know what? I had it, growing up as a teenager, and it had sentimental value to me, but I felt it probably would mean more to the family. So I let them have it. I had like two huge scrapbooks full of stuff about them. Yeah, she's a beautiful woman. Edmund had it going on. He had it going on. Yes, he did. And it's so funny is because not too long before I met him, I was at one of the American Music Awards, events, because, back in the day, if you live in LA, you could get tickets to all of the stuff, the Grammys, everything. If you knew somebody, you might be in the nosebleed seats, but you'd be up there. And sometimes, you see some of the celebrities because they were up in the seats, up in the balcony too. And I remember that I was at one of those events and I saw him with her. So I know that they were together because I actually saw them together at the American Music Awards one year before I had actually met him. And then when I met him, he confirmed it, because I asked him, I said, well, y'all really together, dude? He's like, no, we were really together. I said, oh, okay then. No, Supone, they weren't trying to be like the Jackson 5. That's the thing. But the industry was trying to make them like the Jackson 5. They did not want to be like the Jackson 5 because it was 10 of them, boys and girls. And they had some of the best harmonizations. They could harmonize, and they danced, and I mean they made their own costumes, they did all of their own stuff. But they were young, and the industry didn't want to let them control their own career. Same thing they did to the Osmonds. They tried to make them the white Jackson 5 too. But the Silvers were different. I mean, they were similar in the fact that they came from a large family, but the difference was with them is that all of their kids were involved in it from the very beginning. The only one in their family who was not involved in the music is Chris, who was the youngest, and he died at around age 18 or 19. He was maybe 18 or 19, yeah, somewhere around there, in a motorcycle accident. Yeah, exactly, with New Edition. But New Edition then, as New Edition got a little older, they were really trying to groom them to be like the Temptations or something like that as they got older. And that was a good move because that's exactly who they're trying to, they're basically like that of their generation. New Edition is, I mean, of my generation, because they're my generation. I said New Edition is my generation, but I mean, they got a fan base, but their fan base is in their 40s and 50s now. That's New Edition's fan base, because they're another group that came out in the 80s. they were like teenagers when they came out, you know? So everybody that likes them is old now. We're older. I'll put it like that. We're older. You know, I love New Edition. Shoot, you get a whole bunch of concerts in one. Cause BBD, man, those boys still can do all the moves they did when they did their group by themselves. Cause I remember when they did that thing at the yeah, Toy. I know that's what I'm saying with New Edition. But I remember when BBD did that thing at the Hip Hop Honors a couple of years ago. And we all know at this time they were in their late 40s, but they sure got up there and did the daggone thing and didn't break a sweat. Now we don't know, they might have been hurt the next day, but they didn't. They made it look easy.
And why don't you do?
Yep. And every time New Edition does concerts these days, whenever they do them, I go and catch it, because they're great in concert. You know, they know how to put on a show. They were trained well. They were trained well. Yep, they were trained well. I mean, but you don't even get that from a lot of the artists these days, you know? They're all like gimmicks and stuff. You know, a lot of them don't know how to put on a show. It's more to it, than just getting up there and standing there and singing, you know? Yeah, well, we're not talking. I was talking specifically about Ronnie, Ricky, and Mike. But yeah, but Ronnie, well, I'm gonna just say, from seeing him on when he was on Real Housewives of Atlanta with his wife, he's a little of a know-it-all. He thinks he know everything, because he tried to give some advice to Candy about Escape. Like, in my head, I'm thinking, didn't y'all weren't y'all out around? I mean, y'all might have been out a few years before them as New Edition, but as BBD, y'all was out at the same time. And how you gonna give Candy some advice when this girl, even after Escape, was writing songs for everybody else? She was still making her coin. She still was making her purse, you know? And she generally stays out of the mess on Real Housewives of Atlanta. And she came on there and is making her more coins out of more businesses, you know? So I don't know what Ronnie thought he was telling Candy. Yeah, because they can get raunchy with it. They don't have, BBD doesn't have to be like, the suave, smooth, debonair that they have to do when they're up there as New Edition. When they come out there as BBD, you know what you're getting. You're getting the raunchy side, the New Jack Swing. Oh, yeah. That's what I'm saying, And, truth be told, on their return stuff, Escape is bigger, because everyone is so happy that these girls got themselves together and can get back up there and perform, minus the drama. The thing with New Edition that they have in their favor is, for the most part, outside of the Bobby drama, there wasn't a whole bunch of group drama. There wasn't a whole bunch of group drama. Y'all, you know they're doing this. They're out here. I don't know if they're doing this in you guys' city, but out here in LA, the airports are stopping the ride share, the Ubers and Lyfts from coming into the airports to drop people off. Now they're making them go drop them off at some lots, and then the people have to catch airport shuttles from those lots in directly into LAX from that point, because they were having issues, with the traffic. But it's a little nightmare for travelers now. You know, a little nightmare for travelers. And I'm thinking, I'm trying to go out of town at Christmas, and I live 2 miles from the airport, and I'm gonna have to deal with this drama. Yeah, Ronnie his wife was one of the housewives on Real Housewives of Atlanta last year and the year before. She's not holding a peach this year, so he won't really be on there that much, you know. But yeah, she was on there. And so he was on there. But they ain't on there no more. Cause I think Real Housewives of Atlanta just came back on. I haven't watched it yet, so. But I believe the first episode of it came on this weekend. Yeah, and you know, I watch all the scripted drama for free after the fact because I don't have cable, so I don't have Bravo. You know, I have Netflix, so I watch stuff on Netflix, but everything else, I can watch it after the fact. You know. It'll eventually show up on YouTube, or it'll eventually show up on the Fire Stick or something, you know. So I'll eventually see it. You know, it's not life or death to see reality TV. You know, because all it shows you, all you see on reality TV for the most part are people perpetrating, pretending to be something that they're not. It just goes to the point of ridiculousness with a lot of the people on there, you know. So I kind of take everything in reality TV with a grain of salt. So what I saw of Lonnie DeVoe on there, I just felt like he was being extra for the camera. So that's the way I looked at it. He was being extra for the camera. It wasn't necessary because, you know, it's like, dude, just keep making your coin over there. Just be quiet. Don't say nothing to Candy about her show. Because, you know, Candy didn't say nothing to him, but then she said something in the back chat on the show where you see the stuff afterwards. So he looked stupid anyway when he did it. Oh, yeah. Is that the one? Is the one that played Ronnie? That's not the one that's on Empire. No, the one on Empire, he played one of the other ones in New Edition in the movie. Ciao. Nene's a trip. I think she's taller than me too. Because I think she's like 5'11". Yeah. Nene ain't a little girl by any means. And we're gonna see what happens with Kenya. I don't know. I hope she able to figure it out, you know, with this dude that she got with, you know, because it would be a shame. It would really be a shame. And she from Motown, so you know, she definitely loves, you know, brothers. And I just don't understand why she has such a hard time, you know, because she's a very beautiful woman, you know. She's got, you know, everything is hers. She didn't, you know, there's no extras, you know, except maybe she wears the contact lenses. That's about it. But you know, everything else is hers. Yeah, her daughter Brooklyn is beautiful. She has a beautiful little girl, you know. That's why I just, you know, hope that everything, you know, works out for her, because this woman, like, you know, she waited until she got married to have a child, you know, and she's in her late 40s. You know, it's just, you know, that's what I'm saying. This woman was trying to do it the right way. You know, she's not one of those women, you know, I mean, you might have seen Kenya attached to a guy here and there, but you didn't see a whole bunch of different guys attached to her. So it wasn't like she was run through, like, you know, Phaedra like to insinuate on the show, just because I think she was just jealous of Kenya. But, you know, that's another story, you know. But she's a beautiful brown-skinned sister. But I do think that the fact, like I said before, the fact that her mother abandoned her pretty much at birth and refuses to acknowledge her existence has had an effect on her entire life. And I think it also has to do with her choices in men. I know she had complications because her pregnancy was high risk from the very beginning. I mean, she's well over 35, you know, because after 35 is considered a high risk pregnancy no matter what. And she was over 45 having a baby. I'm like, what is wrong with you black women having trying to do the Janet Jackson, having babies, you know, having babies this late? I mean, you having a baby, you know, not getting a surrogate, you having the baby, you know. And they didn't say anything about Kenya doing artificial insemination, but she might have done that. I'm thinking she probably did. She probably froze her eggs a long time ago and she just didn't talk about it. I'm just saying, Terry, you know. I mean, you know, I'm assuming that Janet did the same thing, that she had her own eggs implanted and inseminated, you know, into her womb at age 50. You know, not saying that we can't naturally have a child that, you know, older, you know, but it's got to be harder. It's got to be harder. I'm just saying, you know, but I wish nothing but good things for Kenya. I mean, I like Kenya. She's extra, you know, she's definitely an extra type of chick, you know, but she's also, you know, she also is one who wants to be in a family unit. That's her desire. You know, you can't knock a chick for that. You can't knock her for wanting to be married and have a child. Yeah, I know. Yeah, she does. You know, but I think most of us, no matter how where we are in life, God gives you the patience for your child, because I don't have patience for anybody but my son. Best believe that. And I have to have a lot of patience for him. So he takes up all my patience. So I don't have no patience for nobody else. I don't have no patience for nobody else. You know, but I still have to have patience for him. And it's not easy. It's not easy. And then it's also not easy still having to co-parent someone who's over the age of 18. I'll let that marinate with you guys. That's one of the things that I have to do as a caregiver. You know, like when most parents, once your kid is 18, even if you're not with the father, you know, outside of, you know, dealing with college, if they're going to college, you don't have to deal with that person about your child a bunch of times. But because my son is disabled, yeah, it's a lifetime commitment. Even though I'm not married to his father anymore, you know, when it comes to our son, we have to try to work it out. And I'll just say this, it's not easy. It's so not easy, guys. It's so not easy, you know? But that's why, like, one of the things I put on my Facebook is that, like, when it comes to me, anybody who wants to deal with me and my son are a package deal. Yeah, I know he's an adult. I'm not asking you to be his dad. He has a dad. He has a father. You know, but if a man is going to be a man in my life, then he would also be a man that is in my son's life. And it would need to be someone who, you know, at the very least, is a good example of what a man should be. Yeah, Terry's no rest. You know, but you know, like I'll say this, and I'll say this is out of older woman wisdom. Women must always think about who it is that they're with, just like men do, because every time you are with someone, whether you're married to them or not, there's a possibility that a baby may come out of that union. And if you and the person have issues, it can cause complications later on when you still have to deal with that person co-parenting, especially when the child is an adult that you have to try to make decisions for because they're disabled, and you have to try to get an agreement from the other person involved in that situation. It's not always a happy time, guys. That's why I had to put y'all on mute a couple of times, because my ex-husband was on my son's phone. And I had to put y'all on mute because he was on his phone trying to talk to me instead of calling my phone. Now, my phone is sitting right here. It's not ringing. I'm just going to say that. It's not on Do Not Disturb. But I'm good. because this is a motivational Monday night. Motivation for everyone, you know, and every day, no matter what is going on in regards to how I feel, in regards to anything regarding my son's father, I'm going to try to work it out. I'm going to try to work it out for my son. Yeah. Well, that's not the issue with him. He just, I don't know. He just sometimes feels like I'm not including him in stuff. But the thing is that he expects me to take care of the things, but then complains about how I'm taking care of the thing. Well, you know how I feel about that. It's like, if you don't like the way that I'm doing it, why don't you do it? But no, that's not the way it's working. So I will continue to do it. And I'm not trying to be the strong woman. I would prefer not to be the strong woman. That's just me. I would prefer not to be that person. But I have to be her a lot of the time. I had to be her a lot of the time. But one day, I'm not going to have to be her. One day, I'm not going to have to be her. But for right now, I got to do what I got to do. Because until there is a ring on my finger, I have to do what I have to do. When a ring comes on my finger, then I'll change it up. But that's one of the things that I'm probably going to talk about. Like I told you guys, is I'm going to talk about probably, just the divorce or single parent rate in the autism community. It's pretty high. And that's not a good thing. But it is what it is. And it's pretty much about at the same levels as the general population. No matter what ethnicity we're talking about. And that's just here pretty much in the United States. But I'm going to do some research because I want to see if it's similar if you go to other countries. Because when you have a kid that has a disability, that situation is either going to pull you together or it is going to tear you apart. But I will say in regards to my situation that me being divorced has nothing to do with my son. My son was not, his disability had nothing to do with us getting divorced. There were other things that happened, which is why we're not together. Yeah, I mean, I would just say that, see, when you have an adult that's disabled and you have to make decisions for them, like I was saying, you have to decide how severely you're going to cut off their rights. And I don't want to put my son into conservatorship. His father think that might be better, but I don't. So because we're not in agreement about that, it's not going to happen at this time. We both each have a power of attorney to help him with his stuff. But, you know, my son is with me. I'm the one, I'm the one who quit, who basically stopped working in high paying jobs and stuff. I mean, I had taken myself all the way up to being like a senior vice president. So I was making really good money, guys, but that kind of job also prevented me from being the kind of mother that I wanted to be to my son. It prevented me from being available when I felt I needed to be available. So I really, prayed for me to be able to be a stay-at-home mom, but also be able to, make enough money so that I could, keep a roof over my head. And so that's what I do. I mean, I make decent money, not the kind of money I would make if I worked outside of the home, because then I could go for, the kind of positions that would pay a lot more money, but it's a sacrifice that I'm willing to make, because I'm able to be here for him. And, we're going through the process now of getting his in-home support services. And once we get that money coming in, which is basically the state of California paying me for doing all the things that I do for my son, because he is now an adult and I legally don't have to do squat, but I'm not that kind of parent. So they reward you for doing the things that you do for your kid by giving you an hourly salary. They can't do the complete 24/7 that probably is necessary, but it's enough that it will enable me to do more things for my son, to facilitate things for him, to get him to the point where he's able to do more for himself. But I'm just thankful that I have, I was able to secure, a full-time job and still be at home. And I'm able to work around his schedule, But it's a sacrifice that everybody can't make. And for many years, I wasn't able to make that sacrifice, but my mom was here. My mom was alive. My mom was here. So there, I had someone who I trusted, you know what I'm saying? That was a family member. He was with family. When he wasn't with me, he was with family. He was with his grandmother. And when my mother died, I no longer worked outside of the home. I had to find something that allowed me to work from home so that I could be home for him. And I was, and at first I was able to do like consulting, making, I made like really, really good money for like the first year to 2 years, doing consulting work. Because I have what they call Six Sigma certification. So I was able to use that stuff and get paid really, really well doing consulting work. But, when you do consulting and contract work, you can only do that for so long, before you got to get a real job. So I did that for a couple of years and was able to make some decent money with that. They kept us afloat. And then I got a real job, a job with benefits, and now I'm doing YouTube. So that, and hopefully that eventually will get monetized. But if it doesn't matter, because I'm doing this because it's something that I want to do. It's something I feel I should be doing. And I think it'll help people, whether I'm making something off of it or not. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm doing it. You know, but I just think that there's so many people out there that are going through so much, and if they can just get some motivation, that's, you know, I want to be that kind of person. You know, there's enough drama on YouTube. I'm not going to be part of the drama. I'm part of the positive part that's giving people things that they want, you know, giving them good content about something that maybe there's not a lot out there from a personal perspective about. You have a lot of stuff that researchers say in regards to it, but you don't have a lot of parents that talk about it because people, you know, are, you know, because of the stigma that even though it shouldn't be on it, it is on it. But as our kids are getting older and older and growing into adults, you know, they're pushing the stigma off of it themselves. But, you know, we as parents feel like we need to do it too. You know, got to help our kids and got to help other people that may have kids that are going through similar situations, so that they know that they're not going through it by themselves. And I know you guys can hear my son in the background. He's happy. He's happy right now. So, you know, I mean, and actually, I think he's going to be gone this weekend. I think this weekend he is going to a air show with his dad. So he's really probably happy about that, because he didn't think when he's gone on his little vacations, because he goes on a lot of these little vacations at this time of year, he'll be thinking about mama. But that's fine, because I'm doing what I gotta do, and that just means I'll have more time for you guys this weekend. That just means I'll have more time for you guys. But I have some more content that I'm going to be doing. One of the people that was in the chat last night asked me to do a video in regards to how people should approach parents of kids with autism, and, you know, not coming at us with pity and saying they're sorry. So I'm going to do a video in regards to that, because I think that would be good, because I think also the same way that I'm talking about how they shouldn't come at us that way, that's the same way I want they should come at our children, because our children can understand when people come at them in a condescending and pity way, and they do not like that. They do not like being pitied. They do not like people feeling sorry for them, because there is nothing wrong with them. They know that they just look at things differently and they learn differently, but they know that they are not less. And so I'm going to be doing a video in regards to that. I think I have enough footage from last weekend when I went out that I can put together like a little video for you guys, because I had to take like music out of it because I don't want to get no copyright strikes. So if I have enough without the parts with the music, then I'm going to probably put that one up too sometime this week. And tomorrow night, I think I'm going to do, I'll figure out what we're going to talk about. But if you guys have any things that you want to come in and talk about, feel free. Because, you know, it's always the not so random chat. Hopefully, we won't have any drama in our politics, or out here in California. It looks like we're starting to die down with the fires and everything. So I think we'll just be able to talk about normal everyday things on tomorrow night. I'm hoping. Yeah, one of the Toya, one of the people that comes into my chat has a child that was just diagnosed, and they have people coming at them, you know, with pity, like it's a death sentence for our children, and it's not. You know, there's so much more available for kids that are on the spectrum than was available when my son was diagnosed 22 years ago. So, you know, parents today, even no matter where their kids fall on the spectrum, will have their kids will thrive so much better because there's so many more resources to help now, you know. So that's one of the things that I'm thankful about. But yeah, on tomorrow night, you know, it's going to be a Tuesday, and you know, Tuesday's a transformation day. So, you know, we're going to see how things are going. I know today being the first day when we're coming into this non-daylight savings time for the most part for us. For me, I've been like playing catch up all day for whatever reason. I don't know. You know, I got enough sleep, but I just have been playing catch up all day long today. So I think I will probably be better at that on tomorrow. I certainly hope so. You know, and if you guys have not already gone and checked it out, please check out my last vlog that I put up earlier tonight. I actually chronicled when I got to 1K early Saturday morning. So I was able to post that up for you guys. The audio's a little low on it because, you know, it was literally in the middle of the night, and by the time I was to the 1K mark, I barely had any voice because I've been up all night. I had no voice, you know, but take a look at it, guys. I was really emotional in the video. I was really emotional in the video, but I think that we got like a couple more minutes because y'all know me. Y'all know how I am. I have to be on at least for my 2 hours. I have to be good. I have to give you guys that. I hope that even though I've been rambling a lot about a lot of different subjects tonight, that it's helped and that it's been kind of motivational for you guys and everything. I know if I was talking to nobody else, I was talking to myself, and I motivated myself, you know, with this. And I hope that those who listen to the replay are motivated, you know, because, you know, we just have to be thankful for everything that we have in our lives, you know, because really for all of us, tomorrow is not promised. But those of us who go through life with a positive attitude and really are just trying to help others and love our brothers and sisters, no matter how they feel about us, you know, because, you know, hate is a strong emotion, you know, so I don't want anybody to hate anybody personally. You know, you can strongly dislike people, you know, because of their ignorance and everything, you know, or whatever, you know, but I just feel that it's easier to be kind to people than it is to be mean to them. I'm just saying. I just think it is. So I hope that you guys are doing good. I hope that this has been a great life for everybody. I try to keep it upbeat every time, you know. I kind of have that kind of personality, you know, despite, you know, what life has given me, you know, with everything that may be going on with my son. I still look at all the things that he can do and all the things that he's going to do in life. And you guys are on the journey with me as, you know, as we watch him, you know, glow up into this wonderful, you know, black man, you know, and, you know, I'm proud of him. I'm proud of everything that he has done and everything that he will do. And I thank you guys for listening to me go on and give my opinions tonight. And very soon I will be starting to do panels once I start to come up with, like, you know, some subjects that I think will be worthwhile having some panels. So be ready to come up and give your opinion on different things. I think, you know, that will be very interesting to get other people's perspectives. But I'm going to be back on tomorrow night, guys. You know that. I'll be back on tomorrow night. And until then, I want everybody to have a safe rest of your night and a great Tuesday. And I will see and talk to you guys tomorrow night in the chat. But until then, as always, everybody, peace. Talk to you guys later. Bye, everybody.
Yeah.